The audacity of authenticity. Why your power matters. Have you ever looked at your reflection and wondered who's really staring back? Not just the face you've memorized, but the soul beneath it. The one that sometimes whispers, "You're playing small," when nobody else is listening. I recently had the extraordinary privilege of interviewing Reese Thomson, a visionary whose work has ignited transformation across continents. She's not just changing lives, she's redefining what power looks like in spaces where Black women have historically been told to shrink. Her unapologetic commitment to authenticity and community empowerment isn't just inspiring, it's revolutionary. Our conversation left me breathless, challenged, and ultimately changed. Today, I'm sharing the wisdom she imparted, wisdom that deserves to echo far beyond our interview. What struck me most about Reese wasn't just her accomplishments, though they're remarkable. It was her unwavering belief that our power lies not in conforming to expectations, but in the audacity to be fully, completely ourselves, especially when the world suggests we should be anything but. The most revolutionary thing you can do, she told me, is to know your worth and refuse to negotiate it away. Let that sink in for a moment. In a society that often measures Black women's value by our productivity, our silence, our ability to carry everyone else's burdens without complaint, what would it mean to stand firmly in our worth, to protect our power, to be authentically ourselves without apology? This isn't just feel good philosophy. This is survival. This is revolution. This is the difference between existing and truly living. Consider the story of Reese Fernandez Ruiz, who co founded Rags to Riches in the Philippines. She witnessed talented women artisans being exploited by middlemen, receiving pennies for work that would sell for dollars. These women possessed extraordinary skill, but lacked market access and fair compensation. Instead of simply lamenting this injustice, Fernandez Ruiz built something revolutionary, a social enterprise that eliminated the middlemen, provided direct market access, and ensured fair wages. She created ethical supply chains and offered skills training in both design and business management. The result? Hundreds of women lifted from poverty, a globally recognized brand, an entire industry transformed. But here's what's most powerful about this story: it wasn't just about economic empowerment, it was about dignity, about these women reclaiming their worth in a system designed to diminish it, about a community rising together because one person refused to accept that exploitation was inevitable. This is what happens when we embrace our power and authenticity, when we recognize that our worth isn't determined by others' valuation of us, when we build communities that uplift rather than extract. And yet, how many of us struggle to claim this power? How many of us dim our light because we've been told it's too bright? How many opportunities have we let pass because we were afraid to take the shot? I see you nodding. I feel you in my soul. Reese Thompson speaks often about the particular challenge faced by Black women, how we're simultaneously hypervisible and invisible, expected to be strong enough to carry everyone else's burdens, yet vulnerable enough to not threaten the status quo, expected to achieve excellence without recognition, to lead without authority, to innovate without credit. In a world that often tries to diminish the hopes of Black women, she says, standing in your truth is an act of defiance. Let me say that again, because it bears repeating. Standing in your truth is an act of defiance. When you speak up in that meeting where you're the only one who looks like you, When you launched that business everyone said wouldn't work. When you prioritize your well being despite being raised to put everyone else first. When you celebrate your achievements without minimizing them. These aren't just personal choices, they're political acts. But here's the beautiful truth Reese illuminated in our conversation: we don't have to do this alone. In fact, we were never meant to. Community is our strength. It always has been. Look at what Reese has created with the Edge Inc., her venture that combines entrepreneurship coaching with spiritual somatic practices. She calls her clients rebelpreneurs, creative entrepreneurs who refuse to conform, who insist on monetizing their passions authentically. These are people who struggle with self doubt, who felt pressure to follow conventional business models that didn't align with their values or vision. Through Reese's mentorship, focused equally on mindset shifts and practical business strategy, they've learned that authenticity doesn't hinder success, it drives it. The results speak volumes. Clients achieving seven-figure revenues while maintaining their unique voice, finding peace alongside prosperity, building businesses that reflect their full humanity rather than compartmentalizing it. This is what becomes possible when we lift each other up, when we serve as mentors, as witnesses, as champions for one another's dreams. Be the hope for younger women, Reese advises. Show progress for older generations. Serve as a mentor to all who need guidance. This isn't just beautiful rhetoric, it's a practical blueprint for collective liberation. Consider the journey of the Norfolk State University alumna who played collegiate basketball before launching her career as a music artist under the name Iadona. She faced societal expectations, questioning whether someone could excel academically at an HBCU while succeeding athletically, and then pivot into entertainment entrepreneurship. Rather than accepting these limitations, she leveraged the discipline she had learned on the court and in the classroom, applying it to her artistry and business ventures. She refused to accept narrow definitions of what paths were open to young Black women. The outcome? She became both mentor and role model, visible across multiple fields, from campus leadership at NSU to stages as Iadana. She expanded perceptions about what success looks like for young Black professionals nationwide and challenged others never to limit themselves due to fear or bias. This is what happens when we take every shot, when we refuse to let fear hold us back. You miss 100% of the shots you're too scared to take, Reese reminds us. It's a simple truth, but how profoundly it can change our lives when we truly embrace it. Every opportunity is a chance to shape your future. Every no is one step closer to the yes that will transform everything. Every failure contains the seeds of your next breakthrough. But taking those shots requires courage. It requires vulnerability. It requires us to risk rejection, disappointment, and failure. And that's terrifying. I know it is. Reese knows it is. Everyone who's ever accomplished anything meaningful knows it is. The difference isn't the absence of fear, it's the refusal to let fear have the final word. When Reese speaks about this, there's a raw honesty in her voice that resonates deeply. She doesn't pretend the journey is easy. She acknowledges the tears, the doubts, the moments when giving up seems like the only sensible option. But she also speaks about the indescribable joy of pushing through those moments, of discovering strengths you never knew you possessed, of building something that outlasts your doubts. Your authenticity, she says, is not just your greatest asset, it's your legacy. Think about that. The most valuable thing you have to offer the world isn't your ability to conform or contort yourself into shapes that make others comfortable. It's your unique perspective, your distinctive voice, your particular way of moving through the world. This is what changes things. This is what breaks open possibilities for others. This is what leaves an imprint that time cannot erase. So I challenge you today. Stop waiting for permission to be magnificent. Stop postponing your dreams until some mythical moment when you feel ready. Stop believing the lie that your voice doesn't matter or that your vision is too bold. The world doesn't need more people playing small, it needs you in all your glorious, messy, authentic brilliance. Choose one area where fear has held you back and take action anyway. Reach out for mentorship if you need it, or offer support to someone else who's struggling to find their voice. Remember that your journey creates possibility for someone else. Remember that when you stand in your truth, you make it safer for others to stand in theirs. Remember that your authenticity isn't selfish, it's revolutionary. As Reese so powerfully articulated, in the soft girl era, we turn down the noise, turn up the pleasure, and teach the world that a soft Black woman is a dangerous thing to underestimate. So be dangerous. Be soft, be powerful, be authentic. Know your worth, protect your power, build your community, take every shot. Because when you do, when we all do, we don't just transform our individual lives, we transform the world. This isn't just about personal fulfillment, though that matters profoundly. This is about collective liberation. This is about creating a world where authenticity isn't exceptional, but expected, where power isn't hoarded, but shared, where community isn't an afterthought, but the foundation. I'm asking you to leave here today with more than inspiration. I'm asking you to leave with intention, to make a commitment to yourself and to your community that you will no longer negotiate away your worth, that you will no longer dim your light to make others comfortable, that you will no longer postpone your dreams out of fear. The revolution begins with you, with your voice, with your truth, with your audacity to be fully, completely yourself. And trust me when I say the world is waiting.